Folks, thanks very much for showing up. This is a webinar entitled SEO in the Age of AI, as the slide does say. This is going to be sponsored by SCORE. And SCORE, we're a resource partner of the SBA, the Small Business Administration, and we help clients such as yourself at all stages of the business cycle, from even as you lead up, the on-ramp, even to the off-ramp. I've helped start businesses and we've helped sell businesses and get them prepared for selling. So we would like to say that we're here for the life of your business. And we'd like to thank our presenter, Corey Daigle, for making this evening possible there too. And we look forward to answering your questions as they arise. And when you do have a question, you'll see that there is a little Q&A button. There's also a search button or a chat button at the bottom, at least the bottom of my screen. I'm using a Mac, but you're free to use either one. But I would say use the Q&A button because that enables us to stay on track. And as soon as we have answered your question, we can cross it off. It's a very, very efficient way. So if you would just use the Q&A button. And Corey, would you prefer that questions wait until the end of the webinar, or would you like to answer them as they arise?
Certainly, you can pop in if there's a question that comes into the chat or the Q&A. That would be great, John.
Okay.
I do have some time at the end after we've gotten through a lot of the content to really answer some very specific questions based on each individual business, should they have them.
Great. Okay. I'm going to make you the co-host as well. So that you'll have some, latitude in terms of like flipping the slides, etc. All of the other folks, you are on mute, but you will be able to remove the microphone if you do have a question, if you'd like to speak up. And if you, I just would ask that you put yourself back on mute once the you have finished and are asking your question. Corey, I'm going to go ahead and just hand it right over to you.
Did you just want to go through the
Oh,
background
that's
of
right.
SCORE, if you
That's
like?
why we have the slide there to keep us on track.
Yes,
This is
sir.
SCORE. We've been around a long time. We are a free service. We have about 60 mentors in Maine. We actually even have the top chapter in SCORE national. That's our Northern Maine chapter, but we work very hard to answer questions, to help you out with the life of your business. We are a nonprofit. We've got more than 320 offices throughout the nation, and we reach out to find you the expertise that you need to answer your questions and to help your business to thrive. All right, Corey, I am done, and I'm going to hand it right over to you at this point.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Corey Daigle. I am the founder of a business called WanderWeb, and we help businesses that are the best kept secret in their market dominate their industry. Um, I started my business in 2019. We specialize in search engine optimization for small businesses. But one of the reasons that I'm here today is when I started my business, I did it with the help of a SCORE mentor. And so I do love to give back. It's really important to me. It's part of our mission. I also worked with Maine Small Business Development Center to start my business and consider us a success story in the end. So I wish you all the luck today and with your business. But if you have any questions throughout today, please ask them. Before we start, let's talk about the intention of today's session. This will be an educational workshop with the goal to understand how search has changed with AI, in particular, how AI fits into that and what you can realistically do as a business owner. Everything that we talk about today can be done by a DIY entrepreneur. However, as strategies become more advanced, layered, and time-consuming, some businesses do choose to hire their search engine optimization out to a specialist. Today, we'll be giving you some clarity about the things that you can do as an entrepreneur to grow your business online. So, we'll be talking today how to be visible where customers search, because search is changing. It used to be that search engine optimization was primarily about Google. And so today, search is very vast. It's well beyond Google. So I like to use the term now search everywhere optimization instead of search engine optimization because we're talking about searches beyond search engines. Today's session is about what is working and what to add. This will not be a deep dive into technical answers or how to do specific things. It's more giving you the strategy and the overall direction on where to take your business in order to be found across the internet, where people are searching and where your customers are searching. Every business is different and every business has a different customer base. So we'll talk about how you can figure those things out for your business and develop a strategy that you can utilize moving forward. So, action items, you'll have lots of them coming out of today. If you don't know how to do a technical thing, honestly, being a webmaster, web developer, search engine optimization specialist is a lot of just Googling how to figure things out, right? So, if you're not sure how to maybe put on a meta tag or a headline or something like that, those are just tasks that you can just ask a search engine how to help you do it or how to give you a step by step. Most businesses don't need a strategy of AI tools. They need an AI or an artificial intelligence aware strategy. So we're going to focus on the things that you can do now, and we're not really going to be focusing on predictions. We're going to be focusing on actionable things that you can do today. Like I said, search engine optimization is no longer just Google. People are looking in many, many places across many platforms, not just search engines. Customers ask questions in AI tools, social platforms, forums, and on review sites. And visibility means can you be found? Is your messaging clear? And are you answering the right questions in all of the places that your customers are searching? So, search engine optimization really overlaps with the content that you're creating. And today's presentation will talk a lot about how to change your content to appeal in today's environment. So, like I said, traditionally, search meant how do I rank on Google? And now search is happening everywhere. And they're searching beyond Google, like on maps and in reviews, forums, and communities. And so we'll talk about how you can be everywhere at once, everywhere that your customers are. Search everywhere optimization. As a DIY business owner, you don't need to optimize for every platform. You just really need to be found in the places that your customers are looking, and we'll help you with that today. The difference between search engine optimization and AI or search everywhere optimization is you can't be ranked on an AI tool. You can show you can be found, but there's no rankings like there is on Google where you can measure keywords and how if you're showing up on the first page or not. You're either shown or you're not on AI because the way AI works is it summarizes information. And by AI, I mean tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity, tools that people are using, Google Gemini. So that it summarizes information and then it cross-checks their sources across the internet. And it looks for consensus. It looks to make sure that that information is the same across the internet, and it looks for clarity. So AI tools don't rank pages, they extract answers, and they may extract your answer if your answer is the best for what the customer is looking for with the intent of the customer. So these tools look for consistency across the ecosystem, the online ecosystem. They'll look at websites and reviews. Those are probably reviews are something that I've really been pushing with our customers for the past 4 or 5 years for this reason. Frequently asked questions are incredibly important, and external discussions about you or your brand. And that's where the forums like Reddit or Quora come in. If your brand messaging is unclear and missing in those spaces, you're less likely to show up. So AI visibility sort of goes out and reads all of the pertinent information related to the query or the question that someone is asking and decide if the information that you have provided is the best result for the query. So like I said, to do that, they cross-check multiple sources. Your website is just one of those sources, all right? When the sources all align, you're more likely to show up in AI search, as well as everywhere on Google, because everything is moving towards this content first strategy. So, two very similar businesses with very similar websites can have incredibly different visibility outcomes based upon their presence across the ecosystem, the online ecosystem. So, who needs to be thinking about AI? If you rely as a business on just being discovered online, sure. If you compete locally or regionally, such as like a plumber or a local business that covers a location, region, or an actual physical brick and mortar site, great. If you do a lot of education before selling, like coaches, this is a great tool for you. And if you have really long sales cycles. So when I say AI strategy, again, I'm not talking about tools and automations. I'm talking about whether your business can be found, trusted in a search environment. Okay. If your customers research before buying, they do comparisons, or they ask questions online, this is important for you. All right. This includes pretty much every business, but and it applies whether you're DIYing everything or you're working with SEO. So if you've gathered the common thread of what I've been focusing on here so far today, it's around messaging. All right. So the root of your messaging, the foundation of your messaging is what you do, who you do it for, what problem you solve, and how you do it, right? So if you don't have those pieces down and you can't clearly define them, I would encourage you to go to the mats and really figure that out. Because AI cannot explain what you do and recommend you if you haven't clearly defined it yourself. Many businesses lose visibility because their messaging is vague. Okay. This is the foundation, and it's where so many businesses struggle. If you can't clearly explain what you do, who you do it for, and the problem you solve, AI can't either. So clarity is our priority. This is something businesses should do themselves first before they really worry about getting into more advanced tactics. One of the things as a professional search engine optimization agency we do is we vet our clients very clearly to make sure they understand this before we begin to work with them. Businesses that can't clearly define their visibility promise really need to go back to branding and begin again before they focus on search engine optimization. You really need to have this root and core of what you do, who you do it for, and the problem you solve specifically before you move forward. If you don't have that, then you're just shouting into the wind and you don't really have a clear message for anyone to find you with. With that in mind, your SEO fundamentals still matter. So when I say SEO, I mean search engine optimization. So those technical fundamentals still matter. What I would recommend is if you haven't really thought about the fundamentals of search, I would recommend we've done a couple presentations with WanderWeb through SCORE. We've done one on SEO for the DIY web designer, which talks about all of the things you can do on your website, the technical things in order to be found. We've also done a specific commerce presentation on how e-commerce businesses can be found. And we've done presentations on how to be found locally. All right. So those tools and techniques are out there for you. You can just go to our presentations that we've done in the past. And at the end of this webinar, I know that John will be sending out all of the information, the slide deck, etc., to you. And what I'll do is I'll share those presentations with John so that he can share those with you as well. The SEO basics are still essential. AI doesn't replace search engines, it relies on them. And if your website itself is broken, hard to crawl, doesn't show up on mobile, right? AI is not going to see your content. They just aren't. So the SEO fundamentals are the foundation of everything that you do. Um, but really, what we're going to be talking about today is what we build on after those fundamentals have been addressed. So AI visibility begins with customer understanding. You really need to know your customer. The businesses, I say this, the businesses that understand their customers the best are the businesses that win, because really what search engine optimization is the intersection of common sense, knowing your customer, and understanding how to do the tasks. Okay? So know what your customers ask, how they describe their problems, the words they use, and where they can be found, right? We have a lot of our businesses that come to me and say, my perfect customer is 25 to 45, and they are a woman and they, I don't know, have 3 children. That to me is very, very basic. Where I would like to go, where we go with our customers is okay, so where does that woman shop? Where does she look online? What podcast does she listen to? What threads is she in on Reddit? Right? Those are the things that we're really focused on. What social media channels are a priority for her, right? And so those are the priorities that we really focus on by knowing our customer. The basis that you're taught in marketing school or, in marketing 101 is very rudimentary. We really need to go a little deeper. So understanding your customer now is so much more important than ever because AI relies on real language and they don't like marketing language. So the words your customer uses and the places they go, it's important that you're there using the words that they use, right? And answering the questions that they answer. It's so valuable. You don't need software or techniques for this beyond just listening to your customers. Okay. So AI prefers just some takeaways, natural language, not marketing language. Your customer words matter more than keywords, which is a hard pill to swallow if you're a DIY SEO, right? Keywords aren't really the vibe anymore. Okay. We're really looking for long tail and conversational content. And I will really get into that and give you some very specific examples today. So reviews, forums, and frequently asked questions are kind of the new norm and the new places that we really need to be focusing our efforts. These insights are what will be guiding your decisions. So let's talk about creating messaging that AI understands. And there's an example that I've used with one of my clients. They're a hospitality site in Eastern Maine, and they have a farm with animals and a restaurant and a mercantile and cabins and all of these things. And so when we think about their search tool, we're not looking for cabins in Maine. The search tools that we're thinking about, the search um, language that we're thinking about is instead of searching cabin in Maine, like someone used to, right? Cabin in Maine, coastal cabin in Maine, um, cabin, and then looking for libraries near there because their daughter likes books, and looking for a museum because their son likes dinosaurs, and piecing all those individual searches together. The search someone's doing today is, I would like to rent a cabin along the coast in Maine where there's a museum close by that has a dinosaur exhibit and a library close by or a bookstore close by for my daughter. Like those are the type of queries that people are searching now. So on the slide I say professional web design services used to be a keyword that maybe we would focus on as a SEO agency. But now we're really going into voice friendly searches, right? Because think about the way that you're searching today. Instead of typing things into Google, we're often saying, hey, Google, or hey, Siri, how do we do blah, 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 right? So say instead of best plumber in Denver. We're like, who's the best plumber near me that can come today? Because I'm in a pickle, right? So voice searches now are and verbal searches, they're longer, they're conversational, they're query based, so query SEO, and they're contextual. So they're specific to location, urgency, and then there's the intent of the query as well, is all being evaluated by these tools.
Here are some pictures that
Oh,
match.
sorry, I said Google. It answered me. Okay. So let's talk about some of the questions that we often are hearing in these queries now. So there's the who questions, and these questions are looking for trust and authority, right? They're looking, and so what the tools are looking for at this point is positioning, your positioning on your content around your expertise, and also it's looking at reviews. So if someone asks, who is the best service near me, or who's the best plumber near me? The tools are going to be looking at your reviews. They're not just going to be looking at your website, right? Who do people recommend for fixing a broken window, right? They're looking at expertise that you've identified in your messaging and your reviews. Who should I call for a broken, I don't know, a broken sink, right? These are the things that, again, going back to reviews, who specializes in helping businesses grow, right? That might be Score or WonderWeb, right? So how to use this is your frequently asked questions on your website. If you don't have frequently asked questions on every one of your service pages, I would encourage you to create those. I would encourage you to solicit and ask for reviews, in particular Google reviews, and respond to them. And then your headings on your blogs are really important. So AI, just like us, they skim. AI has a very human way of looking for things. So they're skimmers. They're looking at headlines. They don't go deep unless they really, unless their eye, the AI eye has been caught. Um, so when we're thinking about being found for our expertise, reviews, your headlines, and your blogs are important. People also do problem first queries now. So why is my electric desk not working? What do I do if my sink keeps leaking? Is it normal for my right toe to keep twitching? I don't know, right? So how do I fix X without replacing everything, right? So again, these are query-based searches that people are doing these days. And your blog titles, your FAQs, and your page headers, your headlines really matter. There's also, so those are sort of lower in the funnel, right? That bunch of questions that I just went through, but there are also some really high intent searches that we want to think about. So when people are ready to buy, like, is there a, what is better, option A or option B? Or um, like I said, how do I get a plumber near me after hours, right? Those are really high intent searches. So be thinking about where people are in the funnel of your sales, whether they're gathering information, whether they don't know you exist, whether they're gathering information, or whether they're ready to buy. So a generic old FAQ or would be what's our pricing? And now what an FAQ could be is how much does it cost to hire a web design for a small business, right? So these are different types of queries. I did mention forums and reviews. I've mentioned them quite a bit. So let's talk about authority beyond your website because consistent information about your brand does strengthen trust across the entrepreneurial or the internet ecosystem. So off-page search engine optimization is about all of the credibility that you can gain outside of your website. Off-page optimization includes signals like links to your website, reviews, and registry presence. AI doesn't rely on just one source. They look across the entire ecosystem. They look at mentions. They look at reviews. They look at backlinks. And This doesn't mean I want you to chase links and try and get them everywhere, but mentions matter. It means and being present in places where your customers are looking with consistent messaging strengthens trust. Okay, so let's talk about some of the ways that we can do that. If you serve a local area, I do recommend that you have optimized the heck out of your Google business profile. I love this as a tool for local businesses. It is free to do, and it can take less than an afternoon. Be very careful if you're changing your business type, because right now Google is, if you change your type, they're often validating the businesses that do that. And so I would be very careful about getting your Google business profile category changed, which is probably the most important thing in your business. AI tools pull really heavily from business listings, maps, and reviews. Okay. So Google business profiles aren't the only place that you can go and get found by these tools. I would look at Yelp. I would look at Apple Maps. Think about Bing, all of those other places, and make sure your information is correct. In particular, and you'll see NAP here on the slide, that stands for the business name, address, and phone number. Okay. So if you have your name as WanderWeb on Google, but WanderWeb doing business as Corey Daigle on Bing, those are two different business names. You've lost trust, right? Are they the same? I'm not sure. Is one WanderWeb and one is like this Corey Daigle who also has the name WanderWeb, right? So really make sure your name, address, and phone number is correct and exactly the same everywhere. Okay. This is one of the highest return activities you can do, and it's so manageable for a DIY business owner. So some of the searches that we hear or queries that we often hear for local businesses are who offers plumbing near me, right? Or who offers therapy near me? Is there a taco restaurant open right now, right? What's the best nail tech in Bangor, Maine? Where can I get a bag of carrots that are farm fresh today, right? So keep in mind, these are more in-depth queries. These are more conversational queries that people are making. So where do you use this? Make sure that's on your local landing pages. So if you serve a town or an area, it's worth creating a page on your website that has the name of that town or area. If you serve multiple towns or areas, it's worth having pages that have those business location names on them that are specific to that location. Okay. Your Google business profile descriptions are important, and your reviews and your review responses are important here. When we talk about reviews, we'll get a little deeper into how to get the right reviews. And then think about content that answers questions. We're really looking at quality over quantity these days. So one strong piece of content or one piece of content that asks and answers a real question is more valuable than a lot of surface level things. AI really likes depth, structure, and usefulness. One of the ways at WanderWeb that we recommend using content is to create a masterpiece of content that is sort of skyscraper content. You go back to it. It's an asset to your business. And then you use that content over and over and over. You use it in your social media posts. You use micro content. You can create videos about it. You can create FAQs about the content. So there's lots of ways that you can take one piece of content and turn it into an asset for your business. You do not need to recreate the wheel over and over and over. Take that piece of content that you know is good, that you've invested your time, effort, and your strong copywriting in, and leverage it. So this sounds simple, but it is very difficult to do. So this is often where DIY business owners do need some support. You can ask your SCORE mentor if they have some suggestions for copywriting support or branding support around this. But I do want you to keep in mind more content is not better content. And instead of a surface level piece of content, go deep. All right. Go deep into what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and why you do it better than everyone else. Right. One strong page can outperform dozens of weak ones. So the old SEO, the neophyte SEO might be creating lots of different pages for a service to really cover all those different aspects of it. But really, what you need to do is condense, okay, and make bigger, better content that has more quality. Now, people ask, how long should a web page be? How long should a piece of content be? That goes back to knowing your customer. So, how much information does your customer need in order to get the answer? And no longer than that, all right? So I do encourage also, if you have these pieces of pillar content, continuously update and refine them before creating new ones, right? Take what's working, take what you have that you've invested in, and refine it, right? It doesn't need to be micro content is from that content, but it doesn't need to be rewritten every year. It just needs to be cleaned up. Okay. And I would say for your high value content, set a calendar schedule so that you can go in and refine and change, tweak up that content for you, not tweak out. So when you're writing any content, also think about voice search. All right. So one easy question is, would someone actually say this out loud to their phone? All right. Say it to yourself. Open your phone, ask the voice assistant a question that's related to your business. If you wouldn't normally say that out loud, then you really need to tweak it a little bit. Ask your voice assistant a question related to your business and write down what you asked and how you asked it. Okay. Turn that into an FAQ, make a blog from it. Use it as a paragraph intro on your website, right? That content, the way you asked it in conversational form, right, in voice search is valuable. Again, if humans are confused, AI will be too. So that leads me to frequently asked questions. As a SEO that's really looking to position our businesses that we work with for the long term, we are obsessed with FAQs. They are one of the most effective and overlooked AI tools, in my opinion, because they match how people ask, and then you have the opportunity to answer. And FAQs are read more frequently than the other content on your website, most often. Your headlines, your FAQs. Okay. Those are the two things that your website is skimmed that AI skims for on your website. Okay. So FAQs, clear questions, clear answers with natural language. So if you want to improve clarity without creating new long form content, you can add your FAQs. So use them to explain your services, pricing, and process, right? So a question might be, what does whatever service you provide include, right? What's the difference between this level of service and this level of service? Or what is the best solution for whatever problem it is that you solve? So say you're a therapist. What does in-person therapy session include? What's the difference between in-person therapy and virtual therapy? What's the best solution for someone who has an anxiety disorder that doesn't have a phone? I don't know, right? I'm just making questions up on the fly, but knowing your customer, again, going back to that is so, so important. So this information can be on your service pages, your blog posts, and your explainer sessions. All right. You can also answer how questions. So these will help reduce anxiety and build confidence in your brand. So how does therapy work, right? How long does therapy usually take? How many, how long do I usually have to have therapy for? How much does how much does a therapy session cost? How do I know if I need therapy? but we could use this for any service, right? How do I know if I need coaching? How do I know if I need a business advisor, right? So whatever it is your service is, these are some of the questions that you could be answering in your content on your website, and then syndicate it, send it to social media, send it out to the forums, right? Answer questions that people are asking on forums. So using this content is great for your step-by-step sections on your website, your frequently asked questions, and your blog intros. Okay. So I have talked a bit about forums. And so to build on that, I would like to discuss user-generated content. And by user-generated content, I mean the content that your customers are creating in community discussions and on reviews. So these community discussions might be in a Facebook group, they might be in a Reddit thread, they might be in Quora. AI scans those and they trust those world experiences, that real world feedback more than your marketing claims on your website. So you need to have some corroboration between what you have on your website and these claims that you make and in these user generated content forums, right? These signals help AI understand what you actually are known for. So the trick is, and it is hard, is you can't control this content, but you can encourage it, right? And respond to it thoughtfully. So for example, we use the term, we talked about a therapist. A therapist might have a thread that they really like in forums that they recommend that their customers go to. Or that therapist might be present in that thread answering questions. Not soliciting businesses. Not soliciting business. We're not looking to sell in these forums. We're looking to support. All right. So this user-generated content includes reviews, forums, and community discussions. And again, these are very valuable to your brand. Reviews and these discussions can really reveal patterns that AI can detect, right? So forums show how problems are discussed naturally. They're also a great place for you to go to get some source material for content and questions to create an answer in your website and your marketing content for your business. So consistent user-generated content that speaks to you and the problem that you solve and is tied to you gives you brand authority without having to do marketing language, any marketing language. Let's talk about reviews and how to leverage them. So reviews play a much bigger role than people realize. They don't just influence how customers make decisions, but they influence how your business is recommended. For local businesses, there's a few things that Google looks for. They look for 220 things, honestly. But at the top of what they're looking for how close is this business if someone is doing a location search in their intent? How close are they? How are their reviews? And do they provide the solution to the problem this person is searching for? And AI is becoming very robust. They're not just looking at the search itself, they're looking at the person doing the searching because they're tracking that with cookies and the questions and the things that that person has queried or searched on the internet before. So this is all blowing up into such a specific, very deep personalized recommendation tool for each individual who's searching. Reviews that mention specific searches and outcomes are especially helpful. So when we're talking about reviews, one of the things that we like to coach our clients on is when you ask for a review, ask how the service that you provided solved their problem, right? Because ideally in these reviews, they should say, I went to Sally for home design because my place was disorganized and now it feels organized and I can relax at home. That is a really good piece of user generated content as opposed to love Sally, she's great. That's not a valuable piece of content, right? So that user review that you got, you can use as a social media post. You can put it on your website. You can put it on your service pages. You can put it in the byline of your signature in your email. There are so many ways you can take these pieces of content and repurpose them. Okay. So your job is to encourage detailed reviews without scripting them, all right? So by asking the customer what problem you solve and consistently getting reviews, all right? Repeated themes help AI categorize your business and recommend you, okay? So reviews are both a conversion, so people look at reviews to decide who they're going to hire, and a visibility asset, right? Reviews are worth their weight in gold. If you do not have an extended review strategy for your business, I would encourage you to, if you take anything from today, if you take one thing from today, please go back to your computer and create a review process where you're requesting reviews on the regular. You can get the link from Google to send to people and ask for reviews. But this isn't a one-time thing. You want your reviews to consistently come in, okay? To expand upon user-generated content, let's talk about forums and community content. So these are where the real questions live that people are asking. So, and AI references these spaces really heavily because it's the way people talk, and AI functions sort of in the thought process of a person. So if you participate, the goal is to help and not to sell. Just again, keep that in mind. So what you can do on these forums like Reddit and Quora, and I'm seeing a lot of Substack come up, long form content, long content or blogs type information created on Substack is really popular right now. Is it important for your business? It depends on your customer, right? But your best practice here is to answer questions, be as helpful as you can, and avoid selling. Okay? So AI heavily references forums for their to answer questions. Businesses should present, like you should as a business, be an expert, not an advertiser. And your consistency matters over volume. So your messaging matters, right? Over time, this is a good strategy for you. So I would recommend if you don't have a community content strategy or you're not commenting to help people in these forums or community groups on Facebook, etc., I would recommend that you think about beginning to take half an hour a week and just go in and be helpful. You've heard me mention the word ecosystem a lot today because AI visibility isn't just about one tactic. It's looking for across the entire internet, right? AI visibility is looking for alignment across all sources. This includes your website, your messaging, your reviews, and your external presence. And when everything tells the same story, that's where you build trust. Okay. And then the trust is what drives your visibility, whether with search engines or AI tools, because search engines are turning into AI tools. So the things that we talked about today, website clarity, your consistent messaging, avoiding contradictions, right? Um, Trusted external signals like reviews, real customer voices. This is brand strategy and search engine optimization coming together, right? And this is what the future of search is looking like. So you don't have to do everything all at once, but start with your clarity, like we talked about. What you do, who you do it for, and what makes you different, right? What makes you the best at what you do. And then just start to build consistency over time. You can do these things yourself. And you just setting these foundations are things that any reputable search engine operation agency would start with, right? So the goal is decide where to spend your time. And so my advice to you is review management is a great place to spend your time. Adding FAQs that are meaningful to your website. And it doesn't hurt to be helpful in forums these days because that is the way people are searching these days. AI visibility is earned, okay? And focusing on being clear with your messaging and consistent with small tweaks. That is what works over time. Um, Gaming the system never works, right? Understanding your customer and your messaging works. If you're interested in connecting with me, here's my email, my personal email, and you can follow us on Instagram if you choose to. We do have SEO tips that we share regularly. And if you're interested, I can share a link to a 52-week SEO support challenge where each week you get like an actionable task that can be done in less than 15 minutes that will help you grow your business with search. It's this is not a sales pitch by any means. This is something that we go above and beyond to create. Our clients that we work with are not DIYers, so this is something that is available for you, and I would love to share it with you. If you would like a score mentor, you can scan this QR code to sign up for a score mentor. John, do we have any questions today?
We do not. I not
Okay.
yet, I should say. But
Okay.
folks, if you have any questions, please go ahead and unmute yourself and speak up.
I would be really happy to answer very business specific questions for you or give you some guidance. Totally
I
happy
have a
to do that.
question.
Okay,
I have a
who's this?
question.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Oh,
Oh,
Lori. Hi.
hi. Hi. My name's Lori. My business is called DocuGuardian, and we have tried so hard to fix our SEO stuff.
Okay.
We, my gosh, I Google and ChatGPT the SEO every day, and it just like we have a whole insights page. So DocuGuardian is it's an online business, so it's not local,
Okay.
and it is for people to store and share their life important documents, and then someone
Okay.
inherits it when they pass away. So that's just to give you a little basics. So we have an insights page. We have frequently asked questions on our landing page. We added a whole insights page that has a whole bunch of articles like, should I use paper or electronic binder to store my stuff? And
Mhm.
how can I manage my stuff, and how can I get my life back together in 30 days? I put the names of the articles into Google and it doesn't come up. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm like chasing and I haven't figured it out.
Okay.
And also my profile, I can't even, for probably 8 months, my profile has like a not our logo. It's been pending with Google forever. There's just so many annoying nuisance things. I'll stop.
It used to be so easy to update your Google business profile, and it's very, very tricky now. We spend a lot of time optimizing these things for our customers. It sounds like there's a few technical things that you need to do for your website. So the first thing I would say is you probably need to submit your sitemap for indexing to Google if you've created
So
some content that isn't being
my
found. Um, and
sitemap
then
for imaging. And do I do that directly to Google? Do I do it on that profile page?
I would recommend you Google how to submit a sitemap,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, my boyfriend,
Um,
ChatGPT.
Yes, we all have. But the other thing is it really sounds like forums and being present in some of the places where people are talking about these types of things might be worth spending creating a strategy around that. And I would really look at being more specific with the headlines that you're using.
Okay. And when you said the forums, like you said Quora or like
Or
Reddit,
Reddit.
those kind of things.
Finding threads that are applicable to what you do and just answering questions in there, right? Like, because if people are asking those questions, like what you're creating for content, then you can go into those forums and answer them, right? Now, like for example, should I have this electronically or on paper, right? You should
Yeah.
be able to find content like that. And if you can't, it means that people aren't answering and your content isn't being created well, right? Because you should
Okay.
be
Yeah.
answering your customers' questions. So if you're not finding that as a question, then
Well,
look
we're
a
a
little
startup,
deeper and find, yeah, yeah. So, and
but I can create that, right? I can create
you
it if
can
it isn't being asked,
correct. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
like as
Is
my
look
other
in these
persona.
forums,
Yeah.
see what people are asking, and then answer those questions. You can answer them in the forums, but you can also create content around them. So that's how sort of you're positioning yourself and will get found. Now, this strategy work overnight. This is going to take 6 months, a year and a
Right.
half. Like this is a
Yeah.
long-term strategy, right? SEO is not a one and done. It is constant incremental tweaks. And what I would encourage you to really focus on is creating meaningful content that answers the questions your customers are asking. Do not chase your SEO tail. We've had a lot of customers come to us that have been
Mhm.
DIYing their SEO for years, and they've followed all of these hacks, and now they've got a Frankenstein, right? So keep it clean, answer the questions that apply to your customer. Be clear, be knowledgeable, be supportive. But look in those forums to find out what content you should be creating. And if you can't find the content that you've already been, the questions that you're already
Yeah,
answering,
I can.
you're answering
Yeah.
the wrong questions.
So, okay, thank you. This is really helpful. And I
Mhm.
appreciate the personal insights. One extra question, because I really
Sure.
listened when you were talking about, because we have all these articles like knowledge information. So are you
Mhm.
saying that the title should be the actual question? Like the title of the article, should it be phrased as a question?
In a very broad stroke, yes. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of nuance to that, but
Yeah.
it's better than coming up with a gamey title, right? So if you answer the question in your content, whether it's an FAQ or a blog. So if the question is, should I keep a paper copy or a digital copy?
Yeah.
That's not a question. The question is, should I keep a paper copy or sh you need to have the
Like
term like the trust information. So should I have my
like I have
parent?
how to organize your life, your entire life in 30 days. That's one of my article names. That's an
Okay,
okay name, right? Or not? Mm,
that is not specific enough,
okay.
frankly. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay. All right. I got
anybody.
it. Okay.
That could be answering anything. So your content isn't as specific as it needs to be.
Okay.
How to
Okay.
organize my
Legacy life
will
or
my no my will documents. How to organize
yeah.
my trust documents? Like things that are very, very specific. So how to organize my
Even
life in
though the
anything. You could
article is
be
broader, even though
a
the
life
article is
coach.
broader, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
question are you
Okay.
really answering? You could be a life coach answering that. You could be um, a
Hmm.
minimalist, right? That's helping people clean their house and organize their home. There's so many people that could be answering that question. That's not a specific enough question.
Okay. I got that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And
it.
Corey, we
Mhm.
had another question from Lisa. Lisa says, I'm just getting started in developing my website through Wix. I
Okay.
started doing SEO on Wix, and they asked, do I want to be found locally, a business at home, or worldwide, a business online? I do both, and it wouldn't let me choose both. Which do I want to choose? And Lisa, you can speak up too, if you'd like to.
Yeah, that would be great,
Hi
Lisa.
there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah, so I was on there trying to do this and it wouldn't let me choose both and I
Okay.
didn't want to like silo myself because I do want business, nationwide and even worldwide. So
Okay.
but I do want to be able to be found locally. So I chose worldwide because I had to make a choice
Hmm.
and hoping that even like on Google that it would still come up that I have a business address and that's the local address. So
Hmm.
what's your advice there?
I do have a couple questions.
Sure.
So that are you a physical location business?
I do have a physical location, yes.
Okay.
But I do a
And
lot of business I will be doing a lot of business over Zoom.
okay, cool. So what's the service that you provide, Lisa?
I
Or
provide three
product?
services. It's hypnotherapy,
Okay.
Reiki, and aging support services, which is considered geriatric care management.
Yep. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. Um, and where are most of your customers coming from now?
Well, like I said, I'm just about to launch.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but I've done so much hypnotherapy with people in, mostly over Zoom. And so they're
Hmm.
from different parts of the country. So I
Hmm.
definitely would want to market myself in a way that I'm getting customers in different areas.
Right. So there's a few things you can do here. My recommendation out of the gate is kind of going against what you're choosing to do.
Okay.
It's very difficult to rank across the world right?
Mm-hmm.
With your service. And so I would definitely focus on creating some local content around the services that you provide physically in person. So I would say that you're a local business. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you can create additional content around your online services and be really clear about that. Because if you think about the Venn diagram and the way that it'll cross over, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
your lowest hanging fruit is your local search.
Okay.
Right? And so I would probably recommend that you start local and then create a service that's online as well that you can then create location pages for or regional pages for. So say, for example, you're getting a lot of people from California or something, you create a
Okay.
California page or you could just be really specific, like so for us, we're a business based in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Web. And we're a local business that serves people across the United States, right? So
Okay.
we're a Maine-based serving the US. And
Okay.
that will allow you to get some local traffic. I would optimize your Google business profile and get yourself listed on registries. But the most important place, again, that you're probably going to get found for your online services are in forums and registries, like registries that people can go to find your service. So for a psychologist, like Psychology Today, a lot of people are finding they're
Okay.
right.
Watch
So
the
be
video on.
thinking about creating um, a strategy where you're found digitally um, on different registries.
Okay.
Yeah, and that will kind of cover both, but primarily your business, if you're a location-based business and you have a location, I would say that you're a location-based business.
Okay. See, I more recently moved to Maine from
Yeah.
Philadelphia,
Okay.
and I would think that a lot of my business is going to come from there because that's
Yeah.
where I know the most people and had a professional network there.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wasn't sure what to do.
Yeah, so my advice to you, and this is very broad advice because I have not done a
Yeah,
deep
no, I
dive into your
appreciate it.
business. And so we do a really deep dive when we make specific recommendations. But my
Hmm.
advice to you would be maybe create a page that touches on Philadelphia and services, still serving Philadelphia area or something. Create a
Okay.
location page for that.
A
Um,
location page on my website, you're saying, or somewhere else? Okay.
Yeah, no, on your website. And then you can include FAQs that are specific to Philadelphia. So that would be a way for you to still have a presence there.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Great.
it's,
Thanks.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
there's no real clear answer. It's just trial or error over time,
Okay.
and continuing to move the needle with what works.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, of
Thanks.
course.
Great. Do we have any other questions? Any other things that people would like to share? Great. Lisa, thanks for your question. Lori, thanks for your question. Uh, I think we have just a couple minutes left, and if it's okay with you, Corey, I just wanted to remind people that we will be sending a video copy of this presentation along with the slide deck to everyone who attended and anyone who registered as well. That's what we do with all of our webinars. We also will upload this to the Score Main YouTube channel as well. So you'll have a chance to look at this, stop it, start it, whatever, if you really wanted to spend more time on a particular section of that too. And I believe, Corey, that you said that you were very interested in making sure that people had links to your other presentations as well.
Yes, I'll
Great,
provide those to you.
great.
I'll send those out. John, you may need to drop your email in the chat.
Right, and we will we'll go ahead and we'll attach those to what we're sending out to all of you with this presentation. Give us a couple days to make sure that we've got it all put together, but we'll be sending all of this to you. And if you do want to score a member, and if you didn't catch the QR code, just get on score.org and request a mentor. You can request a mentor by name, or you can just request a mentor generally with a particular interest area that you'd like to. We're happy to help however we can. Great. Okay, Corey, is there anything that you'd like to add one last time?
No, thank you very much. I hope that you all have great success in your business. Keep at it.
Great. Score.org, we're a small business experts here. We're mostly retired, but we have a few people who are still active in the workplace, but we're anxious to share our experience to help you however we can, even if it's just listening to determine whether or not that it's a good idea or a not so good idea, or perhaps we can put our heads together to come up with a better idea. But we hope to see you at one of our future events. And like I said with Score, we're happy to help throughout the life of your business. Thanks very much for attending. And Corey, thank you so much. A great presentation.
Thank
Really nice.
you. Have
All
a great
right.
day, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.